in continuation to last class. So in last class, we have seen a classification of staircase on the base of the plan form, and as a part of syllabus, we are going to cover the classification of staircase on the base of plan form as well as on the base of the material. Okay, so now we are going to see the classification of stairs on the base of material. Now, what are the materials available as a part of the staircase construction? So it's a timber, stone, brick, steel, and then the famous RCC. Now, wherever you go, most of the time you tend to see this RCC as it's a very strong. Okay. Now, RCC staircase we'll see in other part when we'll start the another chapter. But as a part of this particular presentation, we are going to cover timber, stone, and then the brick. Okay, as well as steel too. Then timber stairs. Okay, now what are the properties of timber stairs and how we see it? As a part of the timber stair, we tend to see it is the assembly of different components. So we can see string is here, we can see trade, we can see riser, we can see these are the bearers. Okay, acts like a beam. Then these are the riser. Okay, and these are some blocks in between. Okay, to connect the trade riser and then as well as this bearer. Okay, so to get the additional strength. Now, what are the properties? So timbers are light in weight, they are easy to construct, but they are very low fire resistance. That's why we don't tend to see the use of timber stairs in today's generation. Okay, because somehow it's difficult for maintenance. Okay, somehow there are some weight considerations, somehow there are issues related with a long life, and then there are issues related with the low fire resistance. So that's why most of the time we tend to see this kind of stairs in houses, maybe G+1 something like that, as well as in Kerala, or maybe in Kashmir side, or maybe in Himachal side, where there is a snow and there are some weathery conditions. Okay, so in such cases you might go for the timber stairs. Now, what are the requirements for a timber stairs? Okay, they, whenever we use a timber as a stairs, so we need to have this proper thickness. Okay, timber used for construction should be free from fungal decay and insect attack. Okay, if it's continuously get attacked by this fungal decay or maybe the insect attack, it may get damaged and it may not long last. Okay, then what are the application used only in a small rise residential building, as this section is very difficult to in a repetition manner to carry the load. Okay, and as far as the maintenance part concerned, so mostly people go for a small rise residential building, but mostly this kind of timber stairs we find in Uttarakhand, in Himachal Pradesh, in Kashmir. Okay, as weathery conditions favorable to them, and these materials ample amount of availability of this timber material. Okay, but it's very unsuitable for a high rise residential building. Now, as far as the assembly part concerned, you can see from this diagram. So last time also we have discussed this trade, this riser, these are the blocks, these are the bearer. So bearer are basically to give a additional strain to this timber, this trade and then the riser. Otherwise, this trade and riser where they are going to rest. So as well as the additional strain is going to provide by the string. So you can see the strings running at the edges, so that this trade and riser can be housed inside this string and then that is how the fixed system can be handled. Okay, to provide the additional strain to connect this bearer and then the trade, there are the blocks, okay, which are going to be nailed with the trade and then the riser through this bearer. Okay, now these are the strings are the most important assembly part of this timber staircase, as this particular part give a position to rest this trade and riser. Okay, so generally this place at the edges. Next, let's move to the next slide. Now look at this. These are the steps. Okay, okay. As a part of this stringer, okay, this stringer are generally 3 to 5 centimeter thickness, okay, and depth will be around 25 to 40 centimeter. Now, as a part of these steps, so last time also we have discussed the trade and then the riser proportion. So then trade will be around minimum 300 mm, and then the riser will be around 150 mm, okay, 150 mm. That is what the proportion they go for, as the standard says, the 150 mm riser and then the 300 mm trade. Okay, now the steps, the thickness of trade of a timber stair should not be less than 32 mm, then the riser 25 mm, but it can be more than that. So sometimes you might have seen in the amphitheater part, okay, where you are gonna rest, where you are gonna sit. So then trade will be something more than 500 mm. So you need to follow just the minimum. So in some places you may get this dimension varies from 300 mm to 400 mm to 500 mm, and then the riser also 150 mm, and then the more than that. As far as the thickness part concerned, so we can see the thickness here. So as trade is going to take the load of our feet, so it is a little bigger than, the thickness is more than the riser, so it's a 32 mm, whereas the riser thickness which is going to be fit between these two trade. So you can see this two trade here. One trade is here, another trade is here, trade, and then the riser. So riser is in between, providing the strength to these two trades. Okay, and then later on it can be joined by tongue and groove joint. You can see tongue and groove joint here, and later it can be nailed. Okay, that is what the system which follow in a timber stairs. And then the other things you can see here. So these are the wedges to provide the additional support to this trade and riser. These are the blocks we can connect so that it should not get damaged. It should not, get displaced, this trade and riser. Here last time we have discussed this nosing, then a scotia, okay, like that. And then these are the lines of the string where this entire assembly is going to housed. Now then the stringer. Okay, so I am talking about this stringer part. Okay, this particular portion. So stringer are the most important part. These are the inclined beams of a timber of around 30 to 50 mm thickness and 25 to 40 centimeter deep, and supported on one side, it's supported by the navels, and another side is also supported by the navels, and sometimes the trimmer, uh, yeah, timber joist. Okay, like that. So what happened? So you can imagine the timber joist. Timber joist is nothing but like a beam, which you see beam. Okay, so here in a timber constructions, it's a joist. Okay, timber joist, and then the another member here will be the navel. So the string is connected to navel, string is connected to timber joist. Within that, it takes the fixed position, and then with this the help of this stringer, the one side stringer are going to be placed on the both the side of the trade and riser, and then later trade and riser gets housed, okay, with the stringer. Now these may be of four types: cut string, house string, rough string, and the weather string. Now let's say the cut string. So it has its upper surface having a carriage or a house, and then accurately cut to receive the treads and riser. Such strings improve very much the appearance of a stairs. However, its lower edge is kept parallel to the pitch of the stair. Now you can see this is the stringer. Okay, so this stringer is run all along the staircase. Okay, we can say the run. So you can see on this side, you can see on this side, and this called as an a bearer to provide the strength at the middle portion. So you can imagine the 90 centimeter if the timber staircase width will be there. So in between you can place the one bearer, okay, so that it should not get bent this particular portion. That is how you can divide. And if your staircase dimension is getting wider, suppose if this is a 90 centimeter and if you want to build the 1.8 meter, okay, double of that, 180 centimeter, so you may need to provide the two bearer. So one bearer is here, another bearer is here, and this is the additional support. So you can see the trades are going to rest on this. But the more than that, the most important element is the stringer, because stringer is acted like a major load carrier, okay, inclined way. And then you can see this dotted line. So that is how this trade and riser can be housed. We can cut this particular portion and they can be fixed here, and that is how you get the support. Now let's come to the housed or closed stringer. Housed means what? Look at it. This is the house. So you have this particular portion, you have this member. What you are gonna do? You have understood this later on. This trade and riser are going to fixed here. What you have done, you have cut this portion. It's like a groove, and then within this particular groove area, you are going to fix this trade and riser. That is what the housed or a closed stringer. Okay, and then in this particular arrangement, your lines will be parallel to this nosing line, or maybe I can say the pitch line. So that is how the arrangement can be done. You can see here, that is how you can tighten this, and whatever the gaps will be remain here, okay, so that it should not get displaced. You can see this triangular materials, that is called the wedge. So wedge we can insert. Okay, so dimension of this stringer will be around 25 to 30 centimeter as an a part of the 25 to 30 mm as a thickness. It's around 3 to 3.5 centimeter thickness. It depends. You can give a minimum 3 centimeter thickness, and then later on you can goes on increasing based on your requirement. And then depth can be around, to cover or to hide this particular entire portion. So depth will be around 30 to 40 centimeter. And later on, if you want, you can always increase. And then to make it very strong, you can place this angular a wastage timber material, so it's called the wedges, so that it can get fixed and it should not get displaced. In between you can see these are the blocks. Okay, so we can place the blocks in between this trade and riser. Okay, look at this. Then later on we can nail it also from here and here, and to give a additional strength so that even this block should not get displaced, you have this another triangular boxes you can place. Then that is how your timber staircase can get a